Hey guys, my name is Rick, also Hot Wheels on the Festiva forum. I want to talk to you guys about a product that the Festiva store is offering and just go over the importance of why this is a product that a lot of people should look into and consider purchasing for a future upgrade when you're talking about building your Festiva. What this is basically it's a hydraulic cable clutch adapter. So this is going to allow you to take a modern Mazda g-25 transmission and by using this plate, you'll be able to convert it to a clutch cable driven system that is in the existing Ford Festiva, Capri XR2s, and the Mazda 323 GT. I do want to give thanks and a shout out to Ben at the Festiva store. These will be offered exclusively through him. I also am not the designer of these. I can't take credit for that. Clinton Bush actually came up with this idea, designed the idea, and what we've done is put it into production so that we could offer to everyone have the ability to have this kit and conversion to make it a little bit easier when swapping in one of these later transmissions. Why this is needed is just because as time goes on, XR2s are getting harder to find, which a lot of people, when they swap in the turbo motors, the BPs, the B6Ts, B60Es, generally the go-to transmission was the Capri XR2 transmission or the 323 GT transmission, also known as the G15MR, which was a cable-driven transmission. It's a little bit smaller than this one. However, it is stronger than the Festiva transmission, but as I said, the problem coming is they're getting very harder to find in junkyards. They were only available in the XR2 form, and they were only available in the Mazda 323 GT form, which are very rare. So this is an option to consider, especially if you plan on one day swapping in your Festiva, either, like I said, a BP, B8ME, B6T, whatever you're deciding to do. This is something that you really need to consider. These transmissions are a lot cheaper, they're a lot more easier to come by, and they're actually a little bit stronger as far as the casings are made a little bit beefier than the XR2 transmission, 323 GT, G15 transmissions. This is also something for the guys, with the XR2 guys, not only do they not want us cannibalizing XR2s for the transmissions, those guys are also building XR2s too. And this is also something that maybe the XR2 guys might want to consider, because if your transmission sources are getting limited as well, and you're looking into building a B6T or even putting a BP in Capri XR2, or even in the 323 GT, you might want to also consider this as well. What this plate's going to allow you, this is going to make swapping a little bit easier. When you're sourcing your parts and you're looking for a good donor car, you're going to be able to look at possibly taking the whole front clip of like an Escort GT, a Tracer, a Mazda Protege, and just taking those whole front clips and utilizing the engines and transmissions. Whereas before, when we were using the XR2 stuff, we would have to find an XR2 donor, or if you're doing a BP swap, you'd have to find an Escort GT with a BP and then go find an XR2 so you can get the intermediate shaft and use the XR2 transmission. But with this, you can just take the front clips of those cars, and utilizing the Kia Rio axles in the Festiva, it'll allow you to not even have to find an XR2. You won't need to find an intermediate shaft from an XR2. You could use the Kia Rio axles with the Escort GT Protege transmissions to have the right length. So, just to go into, even if you haven't considered a swap yet, or you've already done a swap, this is something to think about down the road. Stock Festiva transmissions are also getting harder to find too. I'm not saying to bolt this to a 1.3, but if you're considering doing like a B8ME swap or a B6 swap, you might want to think, if you're going to go through the labor of that, you might as well swap in the transmission. And then utilizing this plate, you don't have to worry about converting to hydraulic. You could simply use your existing clutch cable by modifying it with a Mustang clutch cable. These transmissions are found like in the later 91 to 96 Escort GTs, 95 to 96 Fias, and the Mercury Tracers and Proteges. When you get the plate, what you're going to get is a plate, you'll get a bolt with it. How this will bolt up is it's going to bolt to the two 14mm bolts on the casing. What I would advise is to use a ratchet when taking these out and use a ratchet when putting them back in. They are going into cast aluminum, so you have to be very careful that you don't strip off the threads. There are two bolting points for the plate with the 14mm, and then as well as there's also a pivoting bolt. It really doesn't pivot much, but this is just another point of reinforcement. When you're installing the pivoting bolt, it's very important that you just tighten the bolt by hand till it just touches the casing, And then using your 3/8 Allen wrench, snug the nut to lock it in place. You're not putting any additional force on the transmission. You just want to snug it up. So that's going to get you to plate on the transmission. Basically, to show you here too how this will be connected, what you're going to do on the lever here, on the clutch lever, all we've done here is we've slit this. We put about a 1/4 inch slit in here using an angle grinder. So you're going to slit this just so that the cable could sit through here, and then this little nut has a little pivoting bolt area here. It's going to sit against here. Your clutch will retain against here. This is actually going to allow you some adjustability. This is an adjustable clutch cable for a Mustang 87 and 93. So this will allow you to adjust it so you can adjust the tension on the pedal to the pressure plate. As far as pedal feel goes, a lot of that, there is a little bit of difference in throw because of how this is designed, but also a lot of the difference will also be affected by what pressure plate you're using. I myself am using a stage 3 ECT clutch, which is a very heavy pedal, so it's either on or off and there's not much in between. If you're using something more of an OEM, AutoZone, McMaster type clutch, it's going to be a little bit more forgiving, a little bit easier on the foot. But depending on what application you're using, there's no right or wrong as far as what you want to use. It's whatever you decide you want to use. But just keep in mind, if you're going to daily drive the car, you probably don't want a stage 3 clutch. A 1 or 2 clutch will be plenty for most builds, unless you're going with something crazy. The second video we're going to talk about is making the clutch cable. These plates will be offered through Festiva store in 2 fashions. You can buy just the plates and save yourself a couple bucks, or you can buy a kit which will come with the plate as well as a custom-made cable. Now this has been set up for a Festiva. If you're using this up in something different like a Ford Aspire XR2 or Mazda 323 GT, you might want to just think about just buying the plate and maybe making the cable on your own just so that you can guarantee fitment of the cable. But see the Festiva store, they will be offering these in 2 different versions. You can get them exclusively through Ben at the Festiva store. Thank you. Bye.